Hi, I'd like to welcome all our new students who have just been accepted to the program and welcome back all our returning students. We're up to 35 students with diverse backgrounds. We have teachers, consultants, state and park natural resource department employees, lab techs, students with military backgrounds, and even students in retail. We have someone from Hawaii and someone from Maine, someone from Arizona, and even someone who flies scientists to Antarctica. I encourage the new students to introduce themselves later in the work group and look over existing student introductions so you know who is in class with you. I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce myself. I have a BS in Marine Biology from the University of West Florida, a Master's in Interdisciplinary Ecology from University of Florida with a focus on wetland vegetation restoration in the Everglades, and a doctorate in Interdisciplinary Ecology also from UF. My dissertation focused on restoring seagrass to shallow bays in Southwest Florida using spatial models, policy, and stakeholder workshops. Prior to getting my master's, I spent 2+ years in the Peace Corps in coastal Ecuador working with the community on environmental education and mangrove restoration. I've been working for Clemson for a few years as an adjunct, teaching restoration ecology and filling in when needed with labs. I've also been working to create this online master's degree program. I started full-time as director of this program in January of 2017. I still also have teaching responsibilities. As a busy mom of 2 young children, I understand that many people may not be able to leave their jobs and families to come to campus and earn a master's degree. I also understand the desire to increase your knowledge in a field you are passionate about. I hope this program helps you move towards jobs where you can use your passion for wildlife and fisheries biology to do some good in the world. We need teachers, consultants, and agency employees that are passionate and knowledgeable about wildlife and fisheries biology. Just a few reminders to make sure we're all on the same page about what the program is and what the degree can be used for. This is a terminal non-thesis master's degree in wildlife and fisheries biology. You cannot use this degree to move on to a doctorate. I want to take a minute to discuss the course offerings we have. I have the whole year worth of course offerings listed here for those of you who are thinking and planning ahead, but I'll focus for a minute here on fall 2018 as that's the semester you're probably thinking about registering for now. The semester starts August 22nd. It ends December 14th. We're offering 3 classes that are 3-credit classes: Global Change Ecology, Waterfowl Ecology and Management, and Wetland Wildlife Biology. We're also offering Conservation Physiology, a brand new class for us for 2 credits, and then Graduate Seminar for 1 credit. Additionally, you may sign up for WFB 8630, which is non-thesis study, and I'll discuss that on the next slide, but that's the class where you'll work on your final project. I recommend you sign up for that once you've got a few semesters of coursework under your belt and you're starting to think about your project that you want to do as your final project for the degree. If you're just starting the semester, I would choose from one of the 5 courses listed on this slide. In spring, I'm adding a stats class, or we are adding a statistical methods class. It's not a requirement, but it is an option. That was seen as a need both by the students and the instructors. We're also adding the human dimensions class, and advanced conservation biology is moving to spring. In the summer, we have some classes that are offered for the whole summer, some classes that are offered half a summer, and we even have one class that has a 1-week in-person field lab that is optional, just if you want to start thinking ahead. All right, let's talk a little bit about non-thesis study, or WFB 8630. You must take at least 3 hours of this. You can take up to 6 hours of this. You can take them any semester, and you can take them however you like, which means you may sign up for 1 credit at a time for 3 semesters, or you may do all of the hours in 1 semester as a 3-hour block. It's up to you. I actually recommend spreading the hours out so that you have time if you're going to need to collect data or do anything like that throughout the semesters, and you're getting course credit for doing that. It gives you time to start to flesh out your ideas and make any connections that you need to in terms of where you might collect data or who you might need to get permission from. During this course is when you work on your cumulative project and you receive some direction from me in terms of what we're looking for. So our idea or goal is a scientific paper, a management plan, or environmental education activity or module. You would start with a proposal of the project and a little bit of a literature review, and then study design and generate hypothesis. We're hoping that the final product would be a finished paper or management plan. We will work with teachers to figure out what type of project makes the most sense for them, as I know that it's probably a management plan or scientific paper doesn't make a lot of sense if what you're doing is in the classroom or even environmental education out at a nature center, but there are a lot of other things we can do related to environmental ed. And then the last recommendation I have for this is don't wait until the last semester, as this project has to be finalized and approved before you can graduate. So the due dates on when we have to approve this project are actually about a month before graduation. So if you wait till the last semester to do all these hours, you'll really only have 3 months to get it done. So in most situations, you don't want to do this on your first semester, but you don't want to wait till the very last one. So it's something you start working on when you're 2 to 3 semesters out from graduating. And it's something that's going to be a bit individualized. So as you start thinking about what you'd like to do for your project or signing up for those hours, please reach out to me and contact me, and we'll start talking about what might be a good idea for you in terms of your project. I am working on adding more courses to the degree program. I've got an environmental education course that I'm teaching in person for the first time this fall, and I'm trying to figure out ways to conduct that in an online environment. I'm planning on adding a scientific writing course. It'll probably be spring of 2019 when that's added. I'd love to hear input from you guys on other courses you'd like to see offered. We've added a lot just in the last year based on feedback from students and instructors. We've added a statistics class, the conservation physiology is new, the human dementias is new. So we're constantly adding courses, and I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of what you'd like to see offered and what you would enjoy learning about as a part of this degree. I want to spend a minute talking about expectations. I understand that you all have a lot going on. Most of you have families and full-time jobs or other outside of work commitments, relationships. I do too. It's important that you don't procrastinate. I know things come up. Kids get sick, work gets busy, family emergencies pop up. You still need to make every effort to get your coursework in on time and to make sure you have time to study for your exams. The best advice I can give you is to plan ahead and stay on top of it. You're expected to get A's and B's in graduate classes. That saying C's or D's earned degrees isn't really the expectation in a graduate program. Please read the online student and instructor expectations and late work policy that's posted in this work group under University and Program Policies module. It's very clear in writing there in terms of expectations from you and what our late policy is with this program. So I mentioned that A's and B's are the expectation, and if you don't keep your GPA above a 3.0, you actually go on academic probation. This is not a policy of our program or even our department, but of the Graduate School of Clemson University, so it's not something that I can change or help you with. You have to have a C on any class for it to even count towards your degree, and you cannot graduate if your GPA is below a 3.0. When your GPA falls below 3.0, it triggers an academic probation. You have 2 semesters to get your GPA over 3.0. If that doesn't happen, you're then considered for dismissal from the program by the dean of the graduate school. This is a policy that Clemson really sticks to, so I encourage you to set yourself up and give yourself the time you need on the coursework. If you have the time to do it, you can get A's and B's in these classes. The reason people get C's or lower grades is because they don't have the time, because they're very busy with their other commitments to put the time in to get the grade that they need on their coursework. So don't sign up for so many hours that you can't put the time in to get the grade that you need on these classes. The other note in terms of expectations would be academic redemption or grade forgiveness. This occurs frequently at undergraduate institutions. I'm not sure if it happened at the institution you were at. It is allowed for undergraduates at Clemson, but it is not for graduate students. And again, this is a Clemson University policy, not a policy from our department or program, so I can't change it or be flexible about it. So all grades that you earn will factor into your grade point average. You can't just drop a course and then repeat it. So if you repeat a course, both the grades will be factored into your grade point average and recorded on your transcript. So I just wanted to let you know that if you get halfway, you of course can drop a semester before the add drop period, drop a course before the add drop period of the semester, and you'll be fine. But if you get towards the second half of the semester and you're struggling in a course, you can't just drop it and hope to do better the next time it's offered. Any grade you earned at that point, once we're past the add drop point, will go on your transcript and count towards your degree. In terms of time commitment and how much I advise students to take a semester, you need to expect to spend 10 to 12 hours a week on a 3-credit course. If you're taking a 1-credit course like a graduate seminar or some of your non-thesis project hours, you should expect to spend 3 to 4 hours a week for a 1-credit course. You need to think about how much time you have and sign up for courses based on that time that you have available to work on them. In general, I recommend a 3-credit course and a 1-credit seminar or non-thesis project hour per semester for students. This is equivalent to about 15 hours of work a week. Now, there are students who have been successful and gotten good grades, gotten A's, and taken more credits than this. However, there are many students who take more than 4 hours and struggle during that semester to have the time necessary to get the grades that they would like to get in their coursework. I recommend that you begin, when you sign up for 1 credit at a time, that you begin taking a graduate seminar, and after you have those 2 credits out of the way, you can start working on your non-thesis project. Obviously, you may contact me individually as well if you want some more specific advice or recommendations related to your course plan. Coursework expectations. This is something that the faculty who are teaching these online courses have asked me to discuss or highlight here at the beginning of the program, or as you revisit it, thinking about what you're going to sign up for next semester. These courses are graduate level classes. You are not being asked to memorize and regurgitate facts. We are hoping that you actually spend time on the assignments and studying for exams, trying to synthesize material and think critically about it. It's not something that you can rush through, multiple choice type thing, or we're really hoping for your opinions, your thoughts, your ability to synthesize and delve into and research something. Particularly true of 8,000 level classes, but really all graduate courses. I sort of recommend you to take 6,000 level courses first before you go into 8,000 level courses, as they might help prepare you for those 8,000 level courses. Graduate seminar, FNR 8080, may be helpful in preparing you for courses. We'll touch a little bit on some expectations in terms of technical writing at the beginning of that course. As we move in and create an actual scientific writing course for next spring, we'll move that content into that course. But the expectations are that you spend time on these assignments and think critically about them. Don't just regurgitate or copy and paste from the internet when we're asking for your thoughts or opinions on a discussion topic. Signing up for classes. Some of you have already begun working on this based on the emails I'm getting. But if you haven't, there's a link in resources for iRoar. That's where you'll sign up for classes. If you can't get into a class that we have listed as one of the classes for our online degree program because you don't meet the prerequisites, please contact the instructor and ask them to waive the prerequisites. The instructors of these online classes are aware that many of you won't have the prerequisites as specifically written in the Clemson catalog, graduate catalog course listing, but they're more than happy to waive them and allow you in. They know that you guys are master students for the online program. You need to include your Clemson ID in that email so that they can get into the system and waive that for you. If you're having trouble with this, email me and I will work to get you registered for the class. Another thing that you can begin working on here, besides registering for classes and reading over all the materials I have in this work group, are your GS2 forms. The first GS2 form you have will ask you to select a committee. All the students in this non-thesis online program for wildlife and fisheries biology are going to have the same committee. The chair will be Alan Johnson, and then the two additional committee members are myself, Althea Tailing-Hagan, and Greg Yarrow, our department chair. There is a link to the GS2 forms and instructions provided under the Getting Started module tab. As you begin thinking of your GS2 or plan of study, remember that this degree requires 30 hours of classes, 30 credits of coursework. So for most of you, that will be 8 courses. So look through our course offerings and see which 8 courses appeal to you the most. 4 additional hours of non-thesis study, and 2 1-credit graduate seminars. You pick the 8 courses that interest you the most, and during those non-thesis study hours, you will be working on your project, which is something I've discussed it a little in line with a scientific paper, management plan, or environmental education study. The only other requirement for this plan of study is at least 12 hours of 8,000 level courses. We have plenty of 8,000 level courses out there to meet this requirement, but as you're planning which courses you're going to take, make sure you have taken at least 12 hours, which in most cases is 4 courses at the 8,000 level. Several of you are planning on transferring credits from another institution. If you're not, I apologize, and you can skip forward a slide. I have pasted here exactly the wording from the Graduate Student Handbook in the Office of Graduate Student Services, who I spoke with about this. Under no circumstances would transfer credit be awarded for courses in which a grade lower than a B or its equivalent has been received, or for courses graded on a pass-fail basis. So we can't transfer in pass-fail classes or classes where you got a C or a D. For continuing education units, courses completed outside of a 6-year time limit. So if you did the coursework more than 6 years ago, we can't transfer it in. Correspondence, extension, or in-service courses, or for concentrated courses and workshops that award credit at a rate exceeding 1 credit per week. You must list all courses transferred on your Form GS2 plan of study that we just talked about. You cannot have used the courses for another degree at another institution. I've asked for some clarification, and you are allowed to use courses that you use towards a certificate, but not a degree. So if you obtained another master's degree, the courses that you took during that master's cannot be transferred towards ours. If you never obtained the degree, then the courses can transfer if you got higher than a B, it was within 6 years. You will add those courses on your GS2 as a 699, 799, or 899, and then on the bottom, you tell us the course number and name of the course from your institution that you're trying to transfer, and we double check that against your official transcripts. You choose 699, 799, or 899 based on the number at the institution that you took the course. So your course number will begin with either a 6, 7, or an 8 as a graduate course, and that's how you fill it out on your GS2. If you have any problems or questions about this as you're filling out your GS2, let me know, but that's how we go about transferring courses. I believe those of you who are planning to transfer courses have discussed it with me, and we know which courses we're going to use towards the degree. There are also some students who are trying to use credits from other departments towards the fisheries and wildlife biology degree. That's fine. You can have used it to obtain another degree. So if you've actually obtained or finished the master's degree, those courses can't be used towards our degree. If you haven't obtained the degree yet, we can use them towards our degree. We can only transfer 10 hours or less from other departments. And the committee, which is myself, again, the department head, Greg Yarrow, and Alan Johnson, the graduate coordinator, must approve those courses. So please speak with me about it if you haven't already. There are a few other potential departments with online courses that may be used towards a wildlife and fisheries biology degree. The biology department has an online program with some courses that may be used towards our degree. Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management also has some courses that may work towards our degree. And then the statistics department, particularly if you're interested in taking an entry-level statistics course to work on towards your final project, we actually encourage you to take a class from that department. We just didn't want to make it a requirement. Please get any of these courses approved by the committee before you register for and take it so we can make sure that it'll count or work towards the 30 hours you need to graduate with this degree. If you've already taken them and already spoken with me, then you will list those courses on your GS2 and they will count towards this degree. There are a lot of resources available in this work group on Canvas. Many times I receive emails and I direct you back to this work group and the resource there. So those resources include university and program policies, technical support, and technological tutorials. If you're having trouble with the technology itself, those are the resources to help you with that. Academic support. So how do you register and pay? There's links to all of that there. Registrar's Office, IROR, Student Financial Services, and Financial Aid. Your support services, I guess a note on that payment, I really do not deal with the financial side, so I'm just going to direct you back to Student Financial Services if you're having any sort of issues. If they aren't helping you, then yes, please contact me, and I have some contacts in that department that can maybe resolve an issue if you're having an issue. Academic support services, I encourage you to use these, things like the Writing Center. If you aren't a strong writer, if you didn't score well on the writing portion of the GRE or struggling with writing, we don't want you to lose points on an assignment because you are not a strong writer when you know the content. So there's help with that. Academic Success Center and the Clemson Library, which is going to allow you to access research materials. So online journals that you would have to pay for if you are not within the Clemson network. You go through the Clemson Library site and you are able to access those online journals for free. So you have access to pretty much any journal. If we don't have access to it, you can put in a request and they will get it for you through the Clemson Library when you're doing research for papers or projects. Student Support Services, Student Academic Accessibility Services, Office of Access and Equity, Preferred Name Policies and Procedures, Counseling, Psychological Services, Conflict Resolution, Academic Grievances. If there is any sort of issue, those support services will be there to support you and help you. Obviously, reach out to me as well, and I'll try to direct you to the appropriate assistance. Some academic and writing citation guidelines, things. So if you're wondering your first semester to what is expected from the professors when they don't provide specific guidelines, there's the APA guidelines and some graduate level academic writing guidelines. They're provided right in this work group in Canvas for you. That's all I really have for an orientation. The next opportunity you guys have here, if you click next, is to introduce each other, introduce yourself to the other students in the program. I hope you take the time to do that. Please contact me if after reading over the material on this work group you still have questions or concerns about anything, about registering, transferring classes, about how the program works, what's available, what the expectations are. Please let me know.